Good morning. Welcome to Tufts University. Before we begin, I would like to remind you that the commencement ceremony, by tradition, is divided into two parts. Following Phase I, individual schools and departments will convene at various locations for the respective ceremonies. For the School of Arts and Sciences and the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, please refer to the programs for department ceremonies beginning at 11:30 and the lunch that will either precede or follow each ceremony. The School of Engineering will convene at this location at 11:30. The School of Dental Medicine will continue on Carmichael Quadrangle. The Fletcher School will continue on Fletcher Field at 11:30. The School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences at the Gancher Center at 11:30, and the School of Medicine graduate programs on the Carmichael Quad at 4 p.m. The Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine will convene this afternoon at 3 on the Grafton campus, and the Gerald J. and Dorothy Art Friedman School of Nutrition Science and Policy will continue in Cohen at 11:30. And finally, I ask that you silence your cell phones at this time. Thank you. And now, the procession for the 170th commencement at Tufts University will begin. Please welcome the class of 2026. Family, friends, and guests, the class of 2026. We now welcome the commencement presenter, Professor Boris Hasselblatt, who will lead the faculty of the School of Arts and Sciences and the School of Engineering, Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, the School of Medicine, the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, the Gerald J. and Dorothy R. Friedman School of Nutrition Science Policy, the School of Dental Medicine, and the faculty of the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy.
Please welcome the members of the faculty who are retiring this year and have been granted emeritus status. We will now welcome the members of the 50th reunion class, the class of 1976. graduates and guests, please welcome President Sunil Kumar, the honorary degree recipients, the members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, and members of the Tufts University administration. The 170th commencement of Tufts University will be in order. The audience will please rise for the national anthem sung by Sophia Crummell of the class of 2026. And please remain standing for the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Greetings of peace and light to you all as we celebrate the class of 2026, a joyful sight on this sun-soaked morning. From the moment you arrived at Tufts, you've been looking at the world, from its atomic particles to its macro systems, its histories, cultures, religions, and landscapes, its people, and all living things. You've learned how to look at the complexities and conundrums of the world in your classrooms across continents. Yet, as poet Rainer Maria Rilke writes, there is a boundary to looking, and the world that is looked at so deeply wants to flourish in love. Work of the eyes is done. Now go and do heart work. Graduates, this is your day to go. Take all you've seen and do the hard, holy, heart work of this life we share together. And while we rightly rend our hearts amidst persisting violence and pain, it is love for neighbor and stranger and for ourselves that mends and frees us all. So take heart. There is a place for you in this wondrous world to flourish in love. May you be a part of that, and may love surround us now and accompany you always.
Please be seated. The President of Tufts University, Sunil Kumar.
Thank you, Professor Hasselblad. Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to our distinguished guests, Mayor Jake Wilson, families, friends, colleagues, and of course, the class of 2026. Most things we celebrate, we achieve with the help of many others. Giving thanks and acknowledging support must go hand in hand with celebration. Therefore, before I speak to the class of 2026, let me take a moment to ask them to stand and recognize those who have made this day possible for them. Parents, grandparents, siblings, partners, children, and friends. Teachers, members of the faculty, deans, coaches, advisors, and staff. Graduates, please stand and acknowledge these individuals. Thank you. Please be seated. Your future life, I'm going to read my script. In case you didn't guess, I was trying to wing a teleprompter, but I'm not very good at it. Except for those among you who are heading off to graduate or professional school, the rest of you are feeling pretty good about a future without exams and without grades. In a literal sense, that may prove true, but in a broader sense, nothing could be further from the truth. Not only will your work be evaluated throughout your life, you will become an evaluator. You will need to evaluate not just others' work, but the information they give you. In short, welcome to your new life as a grader. And there is no better time to start practicing grading than right now. Grading, as exciting as watching paint dry. Hang on to your mortarboards. I think this exercise will prove both exhilarating and terrifying. No, I have not completely lost my marbles. Let's start. Imagine that you have been given a short passage to evaluate that answers the question, can beauty help determine truth? Indulge me while I read it to you. The notion that beauty guides us towards truth has captivated thinkers from Plato to modern physicists. This aesthetic criterion for knowledge, that elegant explanations deserve our trust, reveals something profound about human cognition and perhaps reality itself. In mathematics and physics, beauty has proven a surprisingly reliable compass. Paul Dirac famously declared that equations describing nature must be beautiful, a conviction that led him to predict antimatter before any experimental evidence existed. When multiple theories explain the same data, practitioners consistently prefer the more elegant formulation, and history often vindicates this preference. Yet beauty as truth finder carries dangers. Aesthetic intuitions are culturally conditioned and historically contingent. The universe owes us no beauty. It may be fundamentally messy, its deepest truths encoded in equations that offend our sensibilities. Perhaps the resolution lies in recognizing beauty not as truth's guarantor, but as its frequent companion. Sounds pretty highfalutin and good, doesn't it? It was an odd and slippery question to begin with, and the passage threads the needle well. The writer knows what they're talking about. No, I'm not being an ass and congratulating myself. That passage was written in its entirety by AI, Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.1. We must expect to get such passages with increasing frequency. How are we to tell who wrote what? Does it matter whether this is a genuine, original view or simply a collection of words strung together to maximize the likelihood of acceptance? If everybody is repeating this passage, does that constitute collective wisdom? These questions are at the core of what I find both terrifying and exhilarating about our future lives as graders. Fortunately, humanity and humanists have been answering these questions for over a millennia, for half a millennia. In the late 1490s, a combative but careful and brilliant scholar called Francesco Valla decided to look at the authenticity of a famous document, the Donation of Constantine. Purportedly written in the 4th century CE, the document memorialized the donation of all of Western Europe by Emperor Constantine to the Catholic Church. It was widely accepted and deeply consequential. Valla demolished the authenticity of the document. He used 3 arguments. It had a bunch of anachronisms and inexplicable errors, what we would call hallucinations today. The Latin style was terrible and deeply pained Valla's educated ear. It was hardly the Latin one expects of a Roman emperor's court. The lack of beauty did nudge Valla towards untruth. And perhaps convincingly, it failed the common sense test. Roman emperors didn't just give away vast swaths of their hard-won domain to fledgling organizations and have either the transaction or themselves survive for long. Today, the document is widely accepted as an 8th century creation, a deep fake, if you will, made 500 years after the supposed event. Perhaps Valla has a few pointers for us, future graders. While I won't reread the passage, I suspect that you'll be less impressed if you read it again critically. We will post this speech just in case you missed doing homework in the summer. There are no obvious hallucinations in Claude's passage, and the style is pretty good, so there are no easy gotchas here. But in a very fundamental way, the passage is way off. It is answering the question in its most literal sense. As a mathematically trained engineer, I could have answered the literal question, can beauty determine truth, in one word, rarely. When John Keats wrote Beauty is Truth, Truth, Beauty, he was writing about a pot, albeit a very beautiful and ancient Grecian urn. It's very unlikely he meant any of this literally. As humans, we would interpret the question itself differently. we would know that this question was either metaphorical or metaphysical. I can't quite tell which. But it wouldn't just be about physics. Common sense, our intuitive model of the world, however flawed, would kick in. To do this grading in less artificial and more consequential settings is not so easy. But I firmly believe that you have what it takes. Remember what it means to be a jumbo. You have the depth and expertise in your chosen area. You can think for yourself with clarity and candor. You're a well-rounded individual with common sense. And you have the humility to learn, even from those who you disagree with, from life, and yes, even from AI. As a jumbo, your knowledge, your training, and your experience will help train your intuition, your judgment, your discernment. The more you work on these, the more confident you will be in using them. You will become more adept at evaluating and adopting Claude and other future forms of AI. You will better understand AI's benefits, its costs to society, and the damage it can cause. It will ideally become a valuable companion and complement to you, rather than a feared substitute for you. Of course, information is only a means to the end of action. When you act as a jumbo, you know that it is not enough to do well for yourself. It is necessary to do good for others and to take care of the herd. You have a set of values and principles that you will constantly test, hone, and refine for yourself. And so I'm confident that you will use AI with judgment and care, just as you would any weapon that is both useful and dangerous. For its part, the university will continue to educate generations to evaluate and use not just AI, but all future tools. In short, we will continue to produce excellent graders. We will do that not by turning humanists into engineers, but by leveraging our strong base in and our firm commitment to a liberal arts education. And we will educate our students so that they will never lose sight of what makes them human, even as they pursue the most literal and practical of fields. What more is there to say now but congratulations? Go Jumbos, now and forever.
Thank you, Mr. President. President Kumar will now confer the honorary degrees as voted by the Board of Trustees.
Graduates and guests, the tradition of granting honorary degrees has a long and distinguished history at Tufts. We awarded our first honorary degree in 1858, 1 year after the first commencement. We honor honorary degrees to recognize their recipients for their extraordinary talents and contributions. At the same time, I hope they will serve as an inspiration for today's graduates and everyone in the Tufts community. Each one of our honorary degree recipients has led an exemplary life. Each has achieved at the highest level of his or her profession. Each has found multiple opportunities to contribute positively to society. Each has led a meaningful life in the best tradition. We are honored by their presence with us today.
The chairman of the Board of Trustees, Jeffrey Moslow, and trustee host Rebecca Neary will please escort Terry Lynn Carrington to the center of the stage. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Terry Lynn Carrington to receive from your hand the degree of Doctor of Music, honoris causa.
Terry Lynn Carrington, National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Master, Doris Duke artist, 4-time Grammy Award-winning drummer, producer, an educator, and most importantly, a native of Medford, Massachusetts. Beginning your career at the age of 10 and being featured as a kid wonder on television and in publications, you became the youngest individual ever to receive a union card. Not long after, Berklee College of Music took notice and awarded you a full scholarship to enable you to further enhance your gifts. As a young adult, you became an in-demand musician, moving to New York, then on to Los Angeles, gaining recognition on late-night television as the house drummer for both the Arsenio Hall show and Quincy Jones's television show, Vibe. Throughout a 4-decade career celebrating music, you have performed on more than 100 recordings, authored 2 books, toured and performed with countless artists, including Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, Stan Getz, Esperanza Spalding, to name just a few. You released award-winning albums in 2011 and 2013, becoming the first woman ever to win in the Best Jazz Instrumental Album Grammy category. In collaboration with Aaron Parks and Matthew Stevens, you released the Waiting Game album in 2019, which garnered wins as Album of the Year, Group of the Year, and Artist of the Year as voted by the 2020 Downbeat Critics Poll. In addition, you have been named Artist of the Year by Jazz Times Critic Polls, the Boston Globe, and the Jazz Journalists Association. At Berklee College of Music, you serve as founder and artistic director of the Berklee Institute of Jazz and Gender Justice, as you recruit, teach, and mentor and advocate for musicians seeking to study jazz with racial and gender justice as guiding principles. Tufts is proud to welcome you home to Medford and award you the degree of Doctor of Music, honoris causa.
Trustee host Jonathan Prezan will please escort David Walt to the center of the stage. Mr. President, I have the honor to present David R. Walt to receive from your hand the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
David R. Walt, pioneering scientist, gifted educator, and accomplished entrepreneur. Here at Tufts University, your academic home from 1998 to 2017, you served as professor in the School of Arts and Sciences and were ultimately named university professor, the highest distinction that a faculty member can achieve at this institution. During your tenure at Tufts, you invented microwell array technology, which is the basis for most of the high-throughput genetic sequencing platforms available today. Now, as the Hans-Jörg Wyss Professor of Bio-Inspired Engineering and Professor of Pathology at Harvard Medical School and Brigham and Women's Hospital, your research focuses on creating and using novel techniques to solve unmet clinical diagnostic problems. These technologies have been applied to the early detection of cancers, as well as the diagnosis of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and ALS. In addition to being the scientific founder of Illumina Inc. and Quantrix Corp., you have co-founded other life science startups, including Ultiview, Arbor Biotechnologies, Sherlock Biotechnologies, VizGen, and Protelion Biosciences. In 2019, as a pioneer in the field of genetic analysis, you were inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. You have been recognized with many honors and awards, including the 2021 Kabiller Prize in Nanoscience and Nanomedicine and the 2023 National Academy of Engineering's Fritz and Dolores Russ Prize. Most recently, you received the prestigious National Medal of Technology and Innovation. Tufts is proud to welcome you back, to honor you and award you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Trustee Kaelan Taylor Clark will please escort Kenneth Frazier to the center of the stage. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Kenneth Carlton Frazier to receive from your hand the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa.
Kenneth Carlton Frazier, legal executive, world-renowned leader, healthcare champion, and advocate for social justice and economic inclusion. You grew up in inner-city Philadelphia, the son of a hardworking janitor, and dreamed of becoming an attorney to follow in the footsteps of your greatest inspiration, Thurgood Marshall. You graduated from Harvard Law School, well, nobody's perfect, and went on to become general counsel, president and CEO, and chairman of the board of Merck. In those capacities, you led extraordinary innovations and groundbreaking research initiatives, pioneered novel investments, and championed productive partnerships. As leader, you were committed to the core values of scientific excellence, integrity, patient focus, and respect for all people. You guided your company to increase investment in research, leading to life-saving medicines and vaccines being delivered to those in need. Now at General Catalyst, you harness a deep passion for health equity, workforce transformation, and responsible innovation in continuing to drive necessary positive change and leadership in the venture capital world and beyond. Also, as co-founder and co-chair of SkillsRight, a coalition of leading organizations committed to hiring, upskilling, and promoting people without four-year degrees into family-sustaining jobs, you're committed to leading social change and equity for all. You're the recipient of numerous awards and honors, including the Penn State Alumni Fellow Award, the Association of Corporate Counsels Excellence in Corporate Practice Award, and the Equal Justice Initiative's Equal Justice Champion Award. In 2018, you were named one of the world's greatest leaders by Fortune magazine and named to Time magazine's 100 most influential people. In 2019, you became the first recipient of the Forbes Lifetime Achievement Award for Healthcare. Tufts is proud to host you as our 2026 commencement speaker and award you the degree of Doctor of Business honoris causa. I now invite Ken Frazier to deliver the 2026 commencement address.
Good morning. President Kumar, Provost Jenko, Board of Trustees Chair Maslow, Board of Trustees, faculty, friends, family, and distinguished guests. Thank you for the privilege of receiving an honorary degree along with Terry Lynn Carrington and David Walt, whose accomplishments far outshine mine, and for the honor of addressing the fabulous graduating classes of 2026. My wife, Andrea, is a Tufts alumna. And she has made it abundantly clear to me that Tufts graduates have superior traits and qualities: curiosity, caring, purpose, and a stubborn belief that they can make the world a better place. She also assures me that for the last 40 years, I have been living with incontrovertible proof of how extraordinary Tufts graduates are. Her, of course. So I come to you today not as a stranger, but as someone who has had a front row seat to what a Tufts education produces, and now I am thrilled to have my own Tufts degree. So in a short while, You'll move your tassel from one side to the other, and someone will hand you a piece of paper that represents years of sacrifice, late nights, and the good and not so good times you've had here while at Tufts. And then almost immediately, the world will ask you, what are you going to do next? I want to suggest that before you answer that question, before you tell them about the great job, the grad school, the startup, the gap year, you sit with a different set of questions. Not what are you going to do next, but where do you want to go with your life? How can you ensure that your life has true meaning? Ultimately, who and what are you here to serve? I'd like to tell you where I came from because I believe it's relevant to what I want to leave you with today. As President Kumar said, I was born and raised in the inner city of Philadelphia. Go Birds. While we were economically disadvantaged, my parents raised us in a home where faith and education were the paramount values. My mother died unexpectedly when I was 12, and my father raised me and my siblings on his own, working overtime as a janitor to put food on the table and a roof over our heads. I've also been the recipient of uncommon opportunities. Back in the early 1960s, the social engineers in Philadelphia experimented with a program that sent a small number of black children from the inner city to higher quality schools. Starting in grade school, my younger sister, who grew up to be a concert pianist, and I were among a handful of kids who rode a bus across town to a different and better school. And while I strongly objected at the time, I later realized that riding those buses every day allowed me to receive a much more rigorous education than my older siblings. No one can convince me, though, that as an 8-year-old, I merited a better education than my siblings. I know that I was extraordinarily lucky. I went from being educationally disadvantaged to educationally advantaged, setting me on a path that eventually led to Harvard Law School, where I graduated in 1978. Back then, our country was grappling with huge economic and geopolitical challenges. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution led to a protracted standoff with 52 Americans held hostage for more than a year. Gas prices were through the roof. So was inflation. Does that start to sound familiar? American jobs were disappearing as companies saw outsourcing and offshoring as the road to higher profitability. For new graduates like me, good jobs were not easy to find, and we worried that if we were fortunate enough to get such a position, layoffs were right around the corner. I imagine some of you have similar worries, further compounded by the constant drumbeat of headlines warning that artificial intelligence will disrupt or eliminate jobs and may eventually replace us as humans altogether. I work with General Catalyst, an investment company that is in the middle of the AI race. And while there's no doubt that AI, machine learning, and robotics will raise productivity and lower costs, I can assure you that there is an important role for Tufts graduates like you. When I was at Merck, we developed Keytruda, one of the most powerful and versatile cancer-fighting medicines. Developing a game-changing new drug involves countless choices, many of which come down to educated guesses. Recently, someone fed all we knew about Keytruda's development into 2 leading AI models, and guess what they found? AI's choices were suboptimal. If Merck had followed the path recommended by AI, Keytruda would not have reached its full potential as a life-saving medicine. AI did a fine job analyzing the known data, but analysis and judgment are not the same thing. AI can make us smarter, but not necessarily wiser. Often the decisions that lead to breakthroughs require contrarian bets where someone using the human brain decides to ignore current knowledge and experience in order to make a judgment call based on good old-fashioned human intuition. Large language models cannot tell us when to take a leap of faith into the unknown or give us the courage to go against the current consensus. So yes, while AI is a powerful tool, human leadership will always be indispensable. At Tufts, you've learned how to apply reasoning, empathy, and judgment to the hardest problems we face as a society and as individuals. And that's important because we're going to need you. You're graduating into a society where the interface between human beings and human services is increasingly mediated by technology. Many of you will work in industries focused on automation, where the whole point is reducing friction, costs, and the need for human interaction. Now, I want to say to you carefully that there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Technology can save lives, connect the isolated, and scale meaningful solutions. But if everything we want or need to do is automated through the push of a button without real-life human interaction, we risk losing touch with one another. And we begin to forget that people on the other side of the screen are not data points. They are human beings. Some folks today dream of a frictionless future. To me, that is not a dream or an ideal, because most so-called friction comes from human interaction, from people connecting, sometimes in awkward and messy ways, and sometimes with kindness and care. And that's not friction. That's what it is to be human. I'd like to return to the questions I posed a couple of minutes ago. Where do you want to go with your life? How can you ensure that your life has true meaning? Ultimately, who are you going to serve? My journey to corporate leadership was anything but typical. I graduated law school with the intention of becoming a civil rights lawyer. And I spent years trying to perfect my craft in front of juries all over the country. One case in particular stands out. One afternoon, I got a call from a friend asking my help in representing a client on death row in Alabama, whom she believed was innocent. This man, James Willie Bo Cochran, was charged with killing the owner of a grocery store and was given an execution date scheduled for a few weeks later. I thought and I prayed about it. I wanted to say no. Andre and I had just had our first child. I was very busy, and quite frankly, I was hesitant to get involved, because if Bo ended up getting executed unjustly, then not only would I look bad for failing, but I would undoubtedly feel responsible for this man's life. But something inside me told me that I had to try, not least because I reasoned that no matter how bad a job I could do, I was likely to do a better job than he could do on his own behalf. And somehow that lifted my spirit. I ended up agreeing to work on the case, and 5 years later, after many hearings and with the help of others, we were able to exonerate Bo Cochran of a crime he did not commit, but for which he spent 19 years on death row. While in the middle of that case, I received an unexpected phone call from Merck, one of my business clients, asking me whether I'd ever considered going into the corporate world. Truthfully, I hadn't. I loved the courtroom much too much. But my wife, you remember the powerful and all-knowing Tufts graduate, had other ideas. She urged me to give it a try, reasoning that in death penalty cases, I could spend years trying to save a single person's life, but while at Merck, we had the opportunity to save millions of lives by staying true to our mission, and she was right. Shortly after I arrived at the company, the then CEO suggested that I leave the legal department to better understand the business, which is primarily science. Again, I was hesitant. I already knew how to do this lawyer thing, but he said he saw something else in me. He said he believed that I had the abilities that I hadn't realized, and he forced me to broaden my skills beyond the comfort zone. So I joined Merck in 1992, and 19 years later, I became its CEO, the first African American to lead a major pharmaceutical company in the Fortune 500. More than the financial results, more than the headlines, what drove every decision I made during my tenure as CEO was a single belief that business exists to deliver value to society, not just to shareholders. During my tenure, Merck's stock price more than doubled, but more importantly, the company developed life-saving drugs, including Keytruda, the cancer immunotherapy we talked about earlier. So I spent a lot of my career thinking about what leadership really means. And I've drawn deeply on the work of Bill George, former CEO of Medtronic, Harvard Business School professor, and a personal mentor, who has spent decades studying what separates leaders who endure from those who flame out. He argues that every leader has a true north, an internal compass shaped by their life story, their values, their crucible moments, not the direction their parents set for them, not the direction their employer, their peer group, or their social media feed demands, but their own. You will face a dizzying array of opinions about where to take your life from well-meaning friends and family through the algorithms of social media. Rely on your human judgment and intuition to keep you firmly planted on the path to finding your true north. Be intentional about the decisions along the way, turning to your own courage and reasoning, no matter how small or inconsequential those decisions might seem at the time. The late, great baseball catcher and philosopher Yogi Berra put it this way: if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. George's message and mine to you is a clarion call. Go deeper than your resume. Understand your life story. Find your special calling, the purpose that animates you. Because if you don't, someone or something else will fill that void. And it will usually be your ego, your fears, or maybe the market. The hardest person you will ever have to lead is yourself. I found my true north not in a boardroom, but in those early experiences watching my father press our school clothes late at night, working for a man on death row, walking into Merck's laboratories and realizing that we could take steps to make sure that our medicines and vaccines could reach more people, many of whom have been written off by the global market. My compass has always pointed me towards the people who had the least, the ones the market left behind, the ones algorithms had not been trained to see. As you go out into a world being shaped by artificial intelligence, automation platforms, and optimization engines, your task is to be the human in the room who insists on asking, who are we leaving out? Whose voice is not in the data set? Who does this efficiency serve, and who does it harm? Servant leadership in the age of technology is not about rejecting technology. It's about refusing to let technology become an excuse for not serving other humans. Until now, you've been on a well-established track. High school, college applications, standardized tests, internships, grades. Most of you have been optimizing for something, a metric, an expectation, a vision of success that someone handed to you. Now, finally, you're free of all that. I urge you to choose your own path, not the prestigious one, not the safe one, not the one your family hoped for at the dinner table, no offense, family, but the one that is yours. My father, that janitor who found himself unexpectedly raising 3 young children alone, who never once asked the world for a favor, gave me one piece of advice as I was growing up about defining myself. I've carried this advice with me to every boardroom, every courtroom, and in every moment of crisis, particularly when I found myself worrying about how I might be looking in the eyes of others. And here's what he told me. He said, Kenny, what other people think of you is none of your damn business. And then he added, and the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. Growing up is not about getting a degree or getting a job. Growing up is taking ownership of the question, what am I here to give? Not what can I get, not who will it impress, not what will be safe, but what am I uniquely positioned to contribute to this world? In a few moments, you'll hear the music again. You'll stand up and this chapter of your life will close. Decades from now, no one's going to ask you your GPA. They will not be asking your starting salary or what title was printed on your first business card. They will ask, and you'll ask yourself in the quiet hours, whether you served, whether you showed up, whether you used your gifts not merely to advance yourself, but to lift others. I've been a CEO. I've sat in rooms with presidents and prime ministers. I will tell you with complete honesty, nothing I've done in those rooms has given me more satisfaction than the day Bo Cochran walked off death row as a free man. The point I'm trying to make is this. There is no small version of serving others with your whole self. It is all large. Andrea, you've taught me that Tufts graduates go out into the world to make it a better place. Class of 2026, the world needs you, and I believe that you will. Congratulations, you've earned this special moment. It's your time now to go out and serve and to find the moments that will matter more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser, for those wonderfully inspiring words. I do remember my commencement speaker, so I hope when you come back for your 50th, you'll remember Ken Fraser's speech. Now we have to get on to the business of recognizing our emeriti and handing out degrees. So.
We will now recognize the school dean, who has been granted Dean Emeritus status.
Today, we honor Dean Alistair Cribb, who is stepping down as Dean of the Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine. Dean Cribb's tenure has been marked by strong, sustained leadership in advancing the Cummings School Strategic Vision 2030. The school's strategic plan, and developed collectively by the faculty, the staff, students, and key stakeholders, established a bold direction for the school built on its foundational excellence in the DVM education, comparative biomedical and translational clinical research, and clinical care and innovation. Dean Cribb has worked diligently to advance the vision, partnering closely with the Cummings School community, but also central unit partners. His focus has been on renewing the school's educational programs, fostering new research directions, and creating new clinical spaces that meet the needs, demands, and opportunities of education, clinical care, and clinical research. Through his leadership, the school is in a strong trajectory. In recognition of these distinguished contributions, we are granting him the title of Dean Emeritus and entrust that Dean Cribb will remain a valued ambassador, advisor, and supporter of the university and the Cummings School in years ahead. It is my honor to present Dean Cribb with the Dean Emeritus certificate. Will Dean Cribb please come forward to accept the certificate?
Provost Caroline Jenko will now recognize the members of the faculty who have been granted emeritus status upon retiring this year and who are present today.
This year, 30 members of our faculty from 6 schools have been granted emeritus status in recognition of their loyal and devoted service to the university. I ask that they rise when I call their name and remain standing until all the names have been announced. From the School of Arts and Sciences, Christoph Doff Bergenges. Peggy Seeby. Robert G. Cook. Pearl T. Robinson. Tina Wasserman. For the School of Engineering, Si Honghua Chang. Elva Lind Couch. And from the School of Medicine, Jans L. Drop Jorgensen. Henry Corforth. Roman Schumann, Miguel J. Statiker, Paul Summergrad, and Jonathan Zuckerman. These members of the faculty and those listed in your programs but who could not be with us this afternoon will receive their certificates testifying to this honor at their school's respective ceremonies immediately following this ceremony. Congratulations to all of you and to all of our faculty emeriti for your teaching, your scholarship, your service, and importantly, your friendship to Tufts University.
We shall now bestow the degrees earned in course by students of the respective schools of the university as recommended by the Provost, Caroline Jenko, to the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Jeffrey Muslow.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Board of Trustees, in the name of the faculties of the university and by their authority, I declare that the candidates of the several divisions have been found worthy of recommendation for degrees. As well, I want to honor and publicly recognize the record of those who are graduating as members of the Honest Civicus Society, each of whom embodies the ethos of Tufts University's commitment to civic and community engagement. I now deliver into your hands, Mr. Chairman, the roll on which are recorded the official recommendations of the faculties for the bestowal of the degrees.
It is the unanimous will of the trustees that the degrees earned in course conferred and that the qualified candidates be given a diploma signifying that degree and assuring the candidate all the dignities, rights, privileges, and immunities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, graduates. Will the graduates please stand?
Degree candidates, please remain seated for the presentation by each school dean. At the end of the presentations of the candidates by the deans, the degree candidates will then be instructed by the provost to rise for the conferral of the degrees. For the faculty of the School of Arts and Sciences, Dean Barbara Brizuela.
Good morning, everyone, on this beautiful day. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculties of the School of Arts and Sciences and the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, I have the honor to present to you the 1,960 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the several degrees. For the Doctor of Philosophy, 62 candidates. For the Doctor of Occupational Therapy, 25 candidates. For the degree of Education Specialist, 23 candidates. And for the second degree in Arts and Sciences, Arts and Teaching, Fine Arts, and Public Policy, 411 candidates. For the first degree in Arts, Science, and Fine Arts, 1,439 candidates. Please join me in congratulating these amazing graduates.
Kyungbum Lee, Dean of the School of Engineering.
Good morning, engineers, and good morning, engineering families and parents. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Engineering, I have the honor to present to you the 506 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the several degrees. For the Doctor of Philosophy, 13 candidates. For the second degree in Engineering, Science and Engineering Management, Science, Innovation and Management, Technology Management and Leadership, and Science, 192 candidates. For the first degree in Engineering, 301 candidates. Please join me in congratulating these candidates.
Presenting the candidates for the School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, Dean Helen Boucher.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Medicine, I have the honor to present to you the 555 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for several degrees. For the degree of Doctor of Medicine, 195 candidates, including 15 candidates for the combined degree Doctor of Medicine and Master of Public Health, and 3 candidates for the combined degree of Doctor of Medicine and Doctor of Philosophy. In addition, I have the honor to present to you the 118 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Physical Therapy, 99 candidates for the degree Master of Public Health, and 143 candidates for the Master of Sciences in Biomedical Sciences and Medical Science. And on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, I have the honor to present to you the 46 candidates who have filled the requirements for several degrees. 29 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, including 3 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Medicine, and 17 candidates for the degree Master of Science. Congratulations to all.
For the School of Dental Medicine, Dean Nadim Kerembaks.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Dental Medicine, I have the honor to present to you the 232 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Dental Medicine, 2 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Science in Dentistry, and 13 candidates for the degree of Master of Science. Congratulations.
For the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, Dean Kelly Sims Gallagher.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and the trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, I have the honor to present to you the 135 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the several degrees. 4 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and for the second degree, the Masters in Arts, Law and Diplomacy, Transatlantic Affairs, Global Business Administration, International Business, Laws and International Laws, and Cybersecurity and Public Policy, 131 candidates. Please join me in congratulating these candidates.
For the Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, Dean Alistair Cribb.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, I have the honor to present to you the 142 candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the several degrees. 1 candidate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, 98 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, 5 candidates for the combined degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and Master of Science, 2 candidates for the combined degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and Master of Public Health, and 36 candidates for the degree of Master of Science. Congratulations to all the graduates.
For the Gerald J. and Dorothy R. Friedman School of Nutrition, Science, and Policy, Dean Christina Economos.
Good morning. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, and trustees of Tufts University, on behalf of the faculty of the Gerald J. and Dorothy R. Friedman School of Nutrition, Science, and Policy, I have the honor to present to you the 71 candidates who fulfilled the requirements for several degrees. 13 candidates who fulfilled the requirements for the Doctor of Philosophy, 50 candidates for the degree of Master of Science, 8 candidates for the degree of Master of Nutrition, Science, and Policy, Please join me in congratulating these candidates.
Okay. Will all the candidates now rise for the conferral of your degrees by the Chairman of the Board, Jeffrey Maslow.
So a slight repeat, apologies. It is the unanimous will of the trustees that the degrees in course be conferred and that the qualified candidates be given a diploma signifying that degree and assuring the candidates all the dignities, rights, privileges, and immunities pertaining hereto. Congratulations, graduates. Will the candidates please be seated? So this is the moment you have all been waiting for. Let me be the first to offer congratulations as graduates of the class of 2026. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is a pleasure for us to recognize this milestone in your academic career. We hope that you, your families, friends, and guests thoroughly enjoyed all the commencement events and celebrations over this past week. It has been a pleasure to host you here on the Hill, in Medford, Somerville, in Boston, and on the Grafton campus as well. And let me acknowledge and congratulate our honorary degree recipients. Each of you has made a difference in the world, and you honor us with your presence here today. I would like to specially thank our speaker, Ken Frazier, for his remarks. And words of encouragement. He has lived an extraordinary life, positively impacting so many. It is only fitting we can now proudly count him as a jumbo. I also want to recognize the Tufts faculty for teaching you. And for inspiring you along this step in your academic journey. The other group I would like to acknowledge is our alumni. Graduates, our alumni have contributed greatly to your education, believe it or not. And today you can join the vast network of nearly 137,000 alumni living in roughly 160 countries around the world. Many of those alumni are here today, and I ask them to stand with me to assure that you are among colleagues who are ready to support you. Please stand, alumni. And I would now like the graduates who joined the alumni body just minutes ago to stand as well. Will the alumni please be seated? Graduates could be seated too. You're now alumni. So on a personal note, this graduation has special significance for me because it's my 40th reunion. And I was somewhere over there where I'm pointing on my graduation. And a lot has changed and a lot has remained the same. What has remained the same is that as new graduates, you have joined a longstanding tradition of jumbo pride and loyalty. You are part of a community with enduring bonds demonstrating mutual care, empathy, and collaboration, all innate characteristics of elephants like the jumbo, and we have certainly heard about it today in spades. when we learned about our honorary degree recipients, their work, and their words. Tufts is the great institution today that I am proud of every day because of the countless alumni and friends who have given back generously to the university, either through their time, their talent, or their resources. You leave this university to carry forth the Tufts ethos of Pax et Lux, peace and light, as global problem solvers, not only doing well, but also doing good. But for the moment, graduates, enjoy today's events with your family and friends, and please accept my sincerest congratulations and best wishes for your continued success in the years ahead.
Thank you, Jeff. At this point, your heart, you'd like to move on to the school ceremonies, so I'll keep my closing remarks short. I have two feelings right now, pride and envy. Pride at what you're going to do and what you've done and what you're going to do. Envy at what you're going to get to do, which I never will. The world's your oyster. Go conquer it, class of 2026. Go Bows!
As in the past, we will celebrate the commencement ceremonies in two phases. Phase 2 ceremonies will begin at 11:30. Please refer to your programs for the various locations and times. In a moment, the platform party will recess. The platform party will be followed by the faculty and students. The audience is asked to remain in your rows until all the graduates and faculty have recessed. Now, please stand for the benediction, which will be given by Muslim chaplain Khan Shairani. And following the benediction, please remain standing for the recessional.
Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2026. As your time here at Tufts comes to an end, I would like to say that it has been a pleasure to spend my first full year at Tufts with you. You all have diverse lived experiences and have been my instructors by how you have been there for one another, in times of joy and celebration, like now, but also in times of crisis and worry. In my tradition, whenever someone sees anybody else, the first words out of their mouth are always, "Salam alaikum," peace be upon you. I would like to wish peace upon you all, and to remind you that peace is not something passive, but something that you make in solidarity with one another. This has been your community, and wherever you go from here, I hope you bless those spaces with your presence. I hope you bring solace to hearts and minds, and I hope you greet all relations, new and old, with peace in your heart. As I close, I would like to offer you these blessings. May you find joy and delight in the time given to you. May you find gratitude in your heart for all that you already have. And may you overcome all challenges you face through friendship, perseverance, and trust in one another. Salam alaikum.
The assembly will please remain standing and join in for two stanzas of the Alma Mater sung by the Tufts University Amalgamates, Beelzebubs, Enchanted, Essence, Full Sound, Jackson Jills, Low Keys, Sheer Appeal, and SQ. The finale will follow immediately with the campus a cappella group singing Tuftonia's Day.
Come beside thy knee, dear alma mater. us with thee, dear alma mater, with thee. Speed on thy sunlit way, dear alma mater. We vow new faith today, dear alma mater. May glory light thy name, dear alma mater. All thy children sing thy fanfare, dear alma mater. Foray. T-U-F-T-S, T-U-F-T-S, hurrah, hurrah, for the dear old brown and blue. Steady and true, rush along, brown and blue. Raise a mighty score today. Fearless, tear down the field and never yield. Brown and blue for, brown and blue for A. Hammer them hard, boys, and break through their guard. That is old Toughtonia's way. Glorious banner once again. We'll wait for Toughtonia's day. T-U-F-T-S, T-U-F-T-S, hurrah, hurrah, for the dear old brown and blue up on the hill. Ba-da-da-bop, bop, bop, ba-da-da-bop, 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 bop, bop, ba-da-da-bop, victorious in the fight, we'll raise our standard, dear old Tufts to glory. Ba-da-da-bop, bop, bop, ba-da-da-bop, ba-da-da-bop, it's bound to soar. Now one goal more, nothing can stop us, it's Toughtonia's day. Fight!
Those members of the audience who will be leaving to attend other ceremonies should do so after the faculty and students have recessed. The ceremony for the School of Engineering will convene at this location shortly. Thank you.
Lord.